back to Essence Homestead. Happy New Year. It is so exciting to be in 2020. I don't know about you, but I am ready to start working on the garden. I always try to wait till the new year because otherwise I get so obsessed around Christmas time with going through seed catalogs and buying all the seeds. So now I'm going to finally start planning this year's garden and I am so excited. Last year I created a homestead map so that it is easier for me to rotate my crops and just plan the garden and know exactly how much space I have. So today's video I'm going to show you guys how I use Google Sheets, which is Google's version of Excel, to plan out my garden. It's free and it is easy, and even someone computer illiterate like me can handle it. Okay guys, we are going to start out very simple. So when you go to Google, if you click on this box with Google's apps, if you scroll down, you will see Docs. If you click on Docs, this will take you to all the different templates and things that they use. I used Google Docs and Google Sheets for the first time this year for making our cooperative CSA plans. So if you click on the screen, the menu screen on the left side, you will see Sheets. Click on Sheets. This is where I went in order to make our homestead map. I started with a blank sheet, and as you will see, it is just a basic blank spreadsheet, just like Microsoft's Excel program. So here you are able to manipulate the boxes and squares and change the colors and things so that you can coordinate and plant and make your garden plans. I'm going to take you over to my map, which may seem a little chaotic, but that's just how my brain works. If you look at this, I have different colors for different things. The dark green is where we have standing trees where I cannot plant, or it is too shaded where something is not going to grow. The light green is areas that I originally had dirt prepared for this past season, and they were already dug into these rows of these permabed system that I had done. The tan space is where I wanted to open new ground to have more space to plant in the garden. So I made all of these boxes just by highlighting them and changing the fill color or adding borders like the black borders you see around those beds, just to kind of highlight what I had going on and to make sense of it all. These green spaces here are raised beds. And so this was just my original plan, and I hope to add on completely to do our entire homestead. If you look over here, I have marked where our second driveway is, where our current farm stand is. These circle shapes I used to mark where I wanted soil piled or my compost heap, where our small greenhouse is. This blue marks where the well spigots are that we have located around the property. So you can lay this out and color coordinate it however you want, but I found that this was a very simple way for me to plan out our entire garden. So I also wanted to explain how to make it easier to plan out your maps. I am absolutely obsessed with Google Maps and their satellite image. So this image is actually of our property, and it is an old image from 2 springs ago, I believe, before we actually had the garden prepped. My screen is cracked and broken, and so I cannot spin the map. I have the spreadsheet map is north is down here and south is up here, and Google Maps is opposite. So it's a little bit confusing. But so what I was able to do is I went through and kind of gauged how large the treed areas were versus the open areas. Those permabeds on my farm map are actually here where we put our first silage tarp down 2 years ago. And so that's this whole square space here. And our farm stand is actually located right here now. So this was just an easy way for me to visually see an aerial view of our property and get an idea of how I wanted to lay out this map. So like this giant gray rectangle with all these squares is actually where we have greenhouse frames. So when we bought this property, there's one 35 by 96 foot greenhouse frame here, and there's another one here that still has the hoops. We would love to get those going. Right now we just don't have the time and money to get those going. So we will hopefully this coming summer, possibly fall, get the big greenhouses up and going again, because everyone needs a giant greenhouse in their life. So this aerial view on Google Maps, the satellite view, makes it so much easier to get that mental picture for your map. The other thing that I love about this system is if you are into crop rotation and having different plots, I don't have it marked on here, it's in my brain, but these rows actually have a path going down the center, and so I have them broken up into plots so that I can easily rotate my crops. I have a 5-year crop rotation plan, which maybe I'll do a video on that someday, but just for soil health and to minimize the risk of different plant diseases and things is why I like to rotate my plants. So this just makes it so much easier to have different plots. As I extend my gardens, the plots I'm hoping will be larger because we have several different areas that we're growing. But this just made my life so much easier. This year I've already started editing some things as far as what I have planted already. We have certain perennials like raspberries and strawberries and rhubarb and things that do not change, and so those I just constantly leave on there. So I hope that this helps you and that you are able to make a homestead map. So I don't know about you guys, but we have had a crazy end of our year with Christmas and having family in town and New Year's, and we've had people over here for dinner all week, and it has been wild. Our kids are full of sugar and have way less sleep than normal, and so it has been crazy over here. But I'm so excited to bust out all the seed catalogs that I've been getting and get this plan going. So I hope that this explanation really helped. There's so many different ways that you can use Google Sheets. Whether you're going foot by foot, know that you can change the size of each of those little squares so that you can map out your entire property, especially if you only have a couple of acres. This would be so simple to make a master map where you can have your house and gardens, even individual plants. If you have perennial, like a beautiful perennial garden, if you're planning different garden designs, rotating your crops, whether you want to mark where you're going to put future fence lines for your pigs or horses, or where you want to put shelters. I think it's very important to have a plan. We've been here for 2 years and I still have not planted fruit trees, and I know that that's like the big homestead detail, is people saying plant your fruit trees right away. But my issue is we have 25 acres and I did not want to have to move those fruit trees. And so having this map, I'm able to kind of plan out the future with a little bit more precision, I think. And so I hope that this helps you guys plan your gardens. I know that there's other apps out there and that this might be reinventing the wheel, but for me, I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars on a farm system program where I can plan out my crops and garden layouts and things for a full farm scale, because I'm very small scale, but yet some of the at-home gardeners apps that are out there were too small for what I have. We have a very like mid-sized garden as far as the entire scale goes. So I hope that this helps you. If you learn any tricks, feel free to share them in the comments, because I am not very great with computers. So if anyone else out there is more tech savvy and can maybe, I don't know, somehow overlay that satellite view onto that map, that would be amazing. So I hope that you all have a wonderful new year and happy gardening and happy planning, and I cannot wait to see what everyone plans for this new year.